afternoon, Cross Timbers. Today is Wednesday, February 27th, 2013. This is the Texan TV news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas, and I am Rachel Peoples. In today's headlines, the Coast Guard calls off search for a missing family off the coast of California. Sony Pictures Classics co-president visits the Tarleton campus. Walnut Springs to host Rattlesnake Roundup event this weekend. Stephenville residents are surprised to learn of a speed limit adjustment on Highway 67. Coonsie ISD Board hears comments on its decision to ban students from displaying religious messages at sporting events. Workers at a Goodyear plant in France protest layoffs in the face of a struggling economy. Experts say fans injured in NASCAR incident are unlikely to win damages, as well as today's weather. Now today's top story. In national news, the Associated Press reports that investigators in California are trying to figure out whether a distress call was a hoax or a futile call for help. But yesterday they called off the search for a missing boat, a couple, and 2 young children. The Guard received a distress call Sunday afternoon after weather forecasters released a weekend advisory to warn boaters of rough seas. After receiving the call, crews began searching. The family members said they had to leave the ship and they were trying to create a makeshift raft with a life preserver ring and a cooler. The Coast Guard lost connection with the boat after that. FBI spokesman Peter Lee said there have been no missing persons reports matching the family, and there was no ongoing investigation for this incident. The Coast Guard, investigators, and residents along the bay are still unsure if there is a missing family or if the call was a hoax. In campus news, the co-president of Sony Pictures Classics, Michael Barker, visited the Stephenville campus yesterday to discuss with students why the Oscars matter. Here is a portion of his presentation.
Well, the Academy Awards were started in 1927, and the purpose of the Academy Awards, make no bones about it, is to promote films. It's almost like a publicity machine to promote movies. And the reason the Academy Awards really matter is that it gets into the zeitgeist titles and movies that you might not normally see. And it brings attention to these movies, which is so much more important, so important now, not only, mostly because of all the new technology has caused so many distractions for our leisure time. I say distractions because I'm in the film business. It's not distractions for people that love video games or people that love sporting events or watch DVDs or VOD and so forth. There are so many people trying to get your attention, your leisure time attention, that it's important for films to really declare themselves as important. And the Oscars continue to do that.
In regional news, Walnut Springs will be hosting a Rattlesnake Roundup this weekend, Friday through Sunday. Walnut Springs' Businesses for Youth of Agriculture is sponsoring the event. The Texas Diamond Chasers, a group of well-known snake exhibitionists, entertain the crowd with snake stunts. There will also be vendors and a carnival for children. Ted Witt, the event organizer and a Walnut Springs resident, said that the event will be enjoyable for everyone, even if you're not fond of snakes. The first snake exhibition will be at 10 a.m. on Friday, and tickets will be $5 for adults and $2 for students. All proceeds go to Walnut Springs students and will offer financial assistance with 4-H and FFA projects. Next, according to the Empire-Tribune, Stephenville residents are surprised to learn about a speed limit change along a 3.7-mile stretch on Highway 67. The newspaper reports that the Texas Department of Transportation reduced the speed limit from 70 miles per hour to 60 miles per hour. It was adjusted to better accommodate the actual speed of traffic through the area. The department also said that they were not required to give a notice of the change in this case. According to the Empire-Tribune, the change took place around the middle of February, and officers began to enforce the rule that same week. And now, today's state, international, and sports news from the Associated Press. In state news, last night the Coonsie ISD Board in Southeast Texas spent an hour and a half receiving comments on a decision banning cheerleaders from waving banners with religious messages. The Freedom from Religion Foundation, an organization dedicated to the separation of church and state, complained last year about cheerleaders waving banners that contain religious messages at sporting events. The board banned the practice, and the cheerleaders, as well as the Attorney General, say the students' rights to free speech have been violated. The ban has since been blocked, and the school is waiting for a foundation lawsuit to be resolved. The board has not yet taken any steps toward action, but says it will be taking comments for 10 more days. In international news, workers at a Goodyear tire plant in Amiens, France, led a protest yesterday in hopes of convincing officials to keep the doors of the plant open. The Goodyear company, which manufactures Titan and Firestone tires, is outsourcing to China due to France's feeble economy. Upon the announcement of the plant's closure 5 years ago, the Goodyear factory workers refused to condone any layoffs plant-wide, further pushing Goodyear to make this decision. There were plans for an American executive to purchase the factory, but the executive wrote a letter to the French government saying that the country of France and its economic structure is too worker-friendly. This comes among other complaints from officials who cite the high wages for short work weeks and long vacations as deterring investors. The plant workers' protest led to skirmishes as some of the demonstrators were hit with tear gas. There were over 1,100 jobs lost. In sports, experts are saying that the fans injured in a NASCAR incident last Saturday could face many hurdles to winning damages. Matt Morgan, an Orlando-based attorney representing 3 of the fans injured, says that any lawsuits filed would be centered on the protective fence along the Daytona International Speedway track. The fence did not stop the chunks of debris that flew into the crowd attending the event after 2 vehicles collided. Some experts say that taking risks of injury comes along with attending sporting events, citing the liability waivers on the backs of tickets. Others are saying that the arenas should take specific care to avoid such incidents. Morgan says he hopes to evade any lawsuits and to settle with NASCAR. And in weather, according to weatherchannel.com, today's forecast calls for a high of 55 and a low of 31 degrees under sunny skies. Tomorrow is expected to see a high of 56 degrees and a low of 30. Today's broadcast was produced by Ian Traub, Alyssa Wynn, Rafael Sanchez, Laura Jokel, Kate Murphy, Adarius Pegues, and Kelly Rumsey. You can follow the Texan News Service on Facebook and Twitter, and check out our website at www.texannews.net. I'm Rachel Peoples. Tune in tomorrow for the latest news from the Tarleton State University campus in Stephenville, Texas.